You bring the product in, a foreign product in. Are you considered does Amazon consider you a part of their supply chain? And are you endorsed by Amazon?
Not formally. So we have a contact at Amazon. They're using us right now to test and implement new software for companies like ours that do kind of the preparation and inspection before it goes to Amazon. And so they've used us in that sense. They don't formally endorse us like on their website or anything, but we have had reps at Amazon recommend us to their clients that need our services.
So you're kind of a freight forwarder that really specializes in the Amazon
Exactly.
chain?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then do they have the ability to, if they're not happy with you, and I'm not sure what would make them unhappy with you, but if they're not happy with you, can they just close your shop down?
Actually can't, because it's all run through the individual seller accounts.
Right.
Nothing's formally coming from us.
Okay, and do they have contacts with your clients?
Through their sales platform, the Seller Central.
Okay, so they could go to your clients and say not happy, potentially?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. So they don't Amazon does not share, I assume, any of their customer database with you or anything. You've got to go out and find your own customers?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how that process works.
That's a lot of Espen, actually. He's our marketing guy.
So we do different things. The majority of our customers come from online marketing, either being SEO or SEM. That being said, it is kind of a community and ecosystem, the whole Amazon seller community, even though it is 500,000 sellers. But if you do well, your name gets out there,
Right.
and we get a lot of customers that have heard about us from other sellers, and they have and in that ecosystem there are courses and training and all that stuff, and that's where sellers typically meet, and they hear our name in different settings. That being said, we also do trade shows, and that's where we meet people. We met people last week in China for sellers.
Does Amazon have to approve the product? In other words, I mean, if you see someone that has an interesting product in Chile and you think it'd be good in the Amazon network or platform, do you take it to Amazon, or do they approve it? How does that process work?
So normally these third-party sellers are, getting their own approval through Amazon. Amazon will approve almost anything to be sold as long as it's not dangerous. And so they have very little requirements.
So they get the
for-
approval, then they got to figure out how to get it here.
Yeah.
And how many options do they have? You're one. How many others do they have?
So technically, they could do everything themselves if they knew how to. So they could find their own shipper and get all the paperwork in place. So we actually are acting like a consultancy where we help them find the best rates and set everything up. Typical startup is, even the bigger clients can spend a fair amount of time just managing all that. And if you're just looking at a business run by one or two people, usually that time is better spent on optimizing your Amazon listing and finding new products and actually growing your business instead of spending 80%
And how
of the time.
do you charge them? How do you make your money?
So we charge a consulting fee on each shipment placed, and then we also take percentages on the shipping costs, the customs brokerage. So we started out
From someone other than the customer then?
a little bit of both. So we have, for the third parties that we kind of outsource some of the services that we provide to, a lot of them will give us a commission. And then some of those services we've been able to bring in-house and be able to just charge the full price and take our margin as well.
So in Q1, you had 175 shipments, and about how size of shipments average was how big?
So shipments range anywhere from, full container loads, multiple containers, down to a couple of pallets. I think our average is probably 8 to 10 pallets, so less than a container. But we're really trying to focus more on the container-sized shipments and customers because they require a lot less work and maintenance and have a lot more margin in them.
So the price of the product doesn't have any bearing on how you charge, just really shipping cost,
Yeah.
period. And how much of your revenue comes from the customer and how much from the other folks in the chain, roughly?
I would say probably about 70% of it's coming from our consulting fees. The other 30% coming from, referrals and commissions.
Okay. You said you had 2016 revenue of $2 million and you're expecting $13 million? Is that right?
Yeah.
And are you breaking even, making money?
Yeah, so we're actually running at about a 20% margin right now.
Okay. So what do you need 30 grand for? Or any part of 30 grand for?
Sure. So like Espen outlined a bunch of those projects. We have a lot of growth projects, to get us to that 13 million. Some of it's to make, just to optimize current operations, one of them. So we work with a lot of different softwares for the different pieces of the supply chain that we do. We're having a custom software developed right now that integrates all of the software that we use so that our employees, our customers have one kind of dashboard to look at that will do everything for them, that integrates all of that. It automates a lot of what we do and makes it just a lot easier within the office. So that's one of the projects that we have.
I think what we've seen so far, especially the past 6 months, is like so many other people, I guess, it's time that can hold us back from like achieving the peak growth rate we want to and we see in the market. And it's like cash flow just to invest in projects like that. And because whenever we have time and money to spend towards those projects, we see the benefits pretty quickly right after, like the order system, for example.
So if you, 13 million in 2017, if you are shooting for, call it 50 million in a couple of years, what do you need to scale up? Or where do you need to spend money? And what are the concern points for you in that scaling?
So one of our kind of pain points right now is warehouse space. So we're in about 15,000 square feet down here. We need, just based on our modeling for this year, we'll need 100,000 square feet by the end of the year.
Does everything come through San Diego?
Right now it all comes through Long Beach, and so which is why we're,
So your warehouse space is up there then?
it's down here right now. The 100,000 square feet we're planning on opening will be up there. So we're
Okay.
trucking everything down right now. It doesn't make sense to do that for our customers. So, that's one of our biggest pain point is just trying to turn stuff over as
And
fast
then
as we can.
Where does it go from your warehouse to the customer directly?
Goes from us to Amazon's warehouse
Okay,
directly.
and where's their warehouse?
They've got 59 throughout the
Okay,
US, yeah.
okay. And do they go to many of the different, depending on the product, might go to different warehouses?
Yeah, for the most part, they're all going to San Bernardino. I'd say 80% of shipments do, and so it's another reason it'll be a little bit better for customers if we're up in the Long Beach, LA area. Get a little bit cheaper to get it to Amazon.
So I don't know your business really well, the forward freighting, so what are the big risks? What keeps you up at night in terms of, gosh, if that happens, we got a big problem?
So right now, about 70% of our revenue comes from just a handful of our large customers.
Okay.
So we talked about, we're making the switch to work directly with suppliers. We found that they're easier to work with, and they are those large customers. So it keeps me up at night that, 10 customers are supplying 70% of our revenue. We want to get more of those customers to make sure that, if 2 of them leave, that we're still
So you want to
doing just
diversify the
fine.
customer base?
Yeah.
When you said the supply, I didn't understand that.
So, sorry, working directly with manufacturers of
I got
products
it, okay.
rather than the customers buying from the manufacturers.
Or are they considered distributors? Is that
Yeah.
how you
Uh-huh.
view those? Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to go directly to the manufacturers? Okay. What, 5, 10 years from now, where do you expect to be and what's, are you raising money now?
Yeah.
Okay, and where from, in addition to USD?
So we have an angel investor that we've been working with and actually just finalized a convertible note with him.
Okay,
And so.
And how
that's
much are you
kinda,
raising?
500,000.
okay.
And so that's the start of that for us. And then, we'll kind of see where it goes 5, 10 years. As Amazon continues to expand, we're kind of following their growth. We have plans to move to Canada, to the UK, Germany, other countries that they're in. But we're also trying to expand beyond Amazon, so we're diversified in that way. Just e-commerce, freight forwarder in general.
So your angel that's coming with 500, what does he or she view their exit plan to be? Or what have you told them that looks like?
So the angel's my father-in-law,
Okay.
which helps, right?
That's why they call it family and friends, right?
Yep, exactly. Friends and fools. So kind of his exit plan for right now is to give us the cash to help fund the growth that we're going through right now, and then to turn that over without ever converting it just into a bank
Okay,
loan.
okay. So you'd pay it off like a note then? Okay.
Yeah.
When he would have no equity in the company, or?
Not right now, not under
Okay.
the current model.
Okay.
So.
So, different question then. What about my 30 grand? What happens to me? Or the next, or when you go do a Series A, let's say you're gonna scale up and you gotta go raise another $1 million or $2 million, what does the exit plan look like for an investor?
Sure. So that's where, we'd obviously be willing to give equity in a situation like that. And I don't know, we haven't talked a ton about, I don't think this is a company ripe for an IPO at any time in the future. Most freight forwarding companies aren't public companies unless you get to the really, really big ones. But the rate at which we generate cash or have the ability to, once we kind of level off out of this growth phase, would provide an excellent source of just dividends.
So
And,
dividends and distributions, yeah. How many customers do you have now? You talked about needing diversified companies or customers. How many do you have now?
we've had over 2,000 different customers place orders.
okay.
How many active right now?
Yeah, it's probably like the trick here is to define active cut clients because we have like first-time sellers and they never really make it, and we have some really large clients that Brian talked about the other end of that spectrum that is like doing containers on a regular basis. So I'd say around 500 are probably in the process of really building their.
So I'm trying to do the math here for just a minute. So you got a lot more customers than you have shipments. So you got to combine,
Uh-huh.
right? So does that mean that you're only bringing business in from certain geographic areas in order to do?
So a lot of our clients actually use, or some use less than our full range of services. So some of them will actually just send their product directly to us in our warehouse here in San Diego.
Okay,
And we'll like product test or whatever it needs to be Amazon compliant.
got it. Okay.
And so that's kind of a slice of our service they use. The full service are kind of everything from
Let
China.
me ask the question a different way. How many countries are you bringing product in from that come on your containers?
Countries we're open to, we're available to ship out of a ton. Probably 3 is what we're coming out of right now. So
Okay.
we've got China, Philippines. We just had our first one, I think, from Japan. So, our shipping agents that we've partnered with are all throughout Asia.
So let's say you're shipping out of Manila, centrally, and so someone else gets the product to Manila to put it on your container to get it here.
Uh-huh.
Same in China?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
okay, so you have channel partners out there
Uh-huh.
that you work with on that.
Yeah.
At your next investor meeting.
Quick.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.